Hi, hello. Give me 1 second. I just want to finish up this sentence. And he asked her to marry him, and she said, you're just going to have to read the book to find out what she said. Hey guys, how are you? Thank you for coming back to my channel. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I'm Dana Cornelius, and I wrote a little book called You're Taller Over the Phone, available on Amazon. All the links are below, and where I am on every platform known to man. This video will be a little bit on the longer side because as I was doing my research, I found out so many fabulous and interesting things that I'm just dying to share with you. So I'm going to get started. Before I do, I just want to say that this is part 2 now. We've moved on. Part 1 was reasons to date, and go back to my old videos for that. So part 2 now is life stage dating, and our first video is age gap. Age gap dating. What do you think about that now? Have you ever dated someone considerably older, like a generation older or a generation younger? Have you ever been to a restaurant and you saw like a really young woman with a really old man, and you just kind of double took? Well, we're going to talk about those feelings, okay? I'm not placing any judgment. I'm not creating any value for any of this, by the way, okay? I'm here just for entertainment purposes. So please, get entertained, all right? All right. So first on our list of things to talk about under the age gap dating subject matter is older women dating younger men, okay? They used to be called cougars. Are they called cougars anymore? Like the spinsters, and they've lived long enough to accumulate wealth, so they like to date younger men because they don't really want commitment, and the younger men don't really want commitment either. And they're feeling really frisky, and the younger guys are really motivated in that way. So, you know, it kind of makes a good pair, but it tends to be short-lived. There's a shelf life to those arrangements. How about a sugar daddy, right? An older man, a wealthy older man, and a younger woman. And we see a lot of that. Okay? It seems like economics seems to be a big draw to younger women, or to anyone who doesn't share the economic success quite yet. And it's my opinion that those people don't have a lot of faith in themselves, that they too can achieve economic success in the way they want to meet their hopes and dreams. So they're taking a shortcut, and they may be piggybacking on someone else's hard work. Now, there's a certain resentment built into that statement, someone else's hard work, right? You know, if you inherit money, that's one thing. That also takes a degree of intelligence and time and management skills to retain that wealth, okay, even if you do inherit it. So we don't want to overlook that skill set either. And if you make it on your own, I think that needs to be acknowledged and revered, because I personally have had several small businesses, and they all failed, which is okay. That's part of growing. I'm not ashamed about that at all. But I learned a lot, and it's your baby. It's like a living, breathing entity that you nurture 24/7. So if someone has done that, that means they sacrificed a lot. So if you're dating somebody who's self-made, please, by all means, respect that. Respect that, and don't take advantage of that. Moving on. Did you know that there are age gap dating sites? I just learned of this. I can't believe that. I mean, there's a dating site for everything. I have not gone on it, and I won't go on it. But if you're interested in dating someone considerably older or younger, there's a dating site just for you, okay? And I also discovered, too, that there are certain social norms, or what's considered socially acceptable in terms of age gap dating. What's too far? How big is that gap before someone actually throws up when they see you? We'll get to that. But to help you along the way, here's a formula. This is hysterical. You might want to get a pen and paper or replay this video a couple times to get it, because this is the formula. To determine a socially acceptable age difference in partners, goes something like this. Half your age plus 7. For example, if you're 40, slice it in half, that's 20. Add 7, that's 27. Okay, that's how far you can go down. I wouldn't recommend going lower than 5, but this is what I found, and it may work for some people. So 40, you can go down as low as 20. Now, to define the minimum age of a partner, and here's the formula. It's your age minus 7 times 2. So, again, taking 40 minus 7, that's 33, times 2, that would be 60. So you can, if you're 40, you can go up to 60. How's that? You can go down to 27 and go up to 60. So that's the maximum age of a partner. Shall we go through that formula again? Okay. Minimum age, for half your age plus 7. Maximum age, it would be your age minus 7 times 2. All right? Oh, God. Who would have thought this would be so difficult? I would love to hear in your comments how big the gap your experience has been. I think that would be fun conversation. All right, moving on. Celebrity couples. I find this a lot in Hollywood. The elders like to date the youngsters. Let's see how big of a gap they go, okay? Here we go. Are you ready? Put your seatbelt on. Should I pause this? You need to get a beer or something? Because this is hysterical. All right. Olivia Wilde and Harry Styles. All right. I'm going to show you a picture in a second. Harrison Ford and Callista Flockhart. Remember her from Ally McBeal? No, I'm dating myself, but I didn't watch that show when it came out. I actually watched the reruns. When it went into syndication, I was glued and I totally episode binged on it. I really, really liked it. I thought she was a little bit too skinny, but that's just me. Anyway, they have a 22-year age gap. Here's a picture. Leonardo DiCaprio and Camilla Morrone. A Moroni? 23-year age gap. Here's a picture. Okay, moving on. There's more. Bruce Willis and Emma Hemming, also a 23-year age gap. How about Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones? They have a 25-year age gap, and they seem to be working. Now, he doesn't seem to be aging as gracefully as she does, but I'm sure he's a nice person inside. Not to be judgmental or anything. How about this one? Alec Baldwin and Hilaria. That's a funny name. Hilaria? Hold on a second. I just have to laugh. Alec Baldwin and Hilaria Baldwin. Oh, she took her last name. She took his last name. That's great. 26 years age gap. All right. Look, and the following, the men are always going to be the older. Okay, and I've got about 100 more to go. No, seriously, I've got about 10 more to go. It's hysterical. How about this? Rod Stewart and Penny Lancaster, 26, also 26-year age gap. Jeff Goldblum and Emily Livingston, 31 years. The gap gets wider. Stay with me, folks. Okay, so here's a couple lesbians. Sarah Paulson and Holland Taylor, 32 years. I guess they found each other's soulmates. That's great. Sean Penn and Lila George, 31-year age gap. I think I have a picture. Check it out. Billy Joel and Alexis Roderick. Now, here's another guy that doesn't seem to be aging well. He may have a sugar addiction. He looks a little bit inflamed. Okay. Here's someone that I thought was gay. All right. Seriously, I thought he did that stuff with the same sex. Richard Gere and Alejandro Silva, 33-year age gap. How about Dennis Quaid and Laura Savoy? 39 years. 39 years. What do they talk about? What could they possibly be talking about? Make me a sandwich? I like green eggs and ham. I don't know. Mick Jagger and Melanie Hamrick, 43-year age gap. Now, Mick Jagger is someone that has aged really gracefully. Kidding. He's just aged. I don't know how he stays alive. Now look, I don't think he needs any more money, but if he could bottle that secret, I think he'd be a gazillionaire. He'd probably be the richest guy alive. All right, last two. Led Zeppelin, guitarist Jimmy Page and Scarlett Zevon. 46 years. Check his picture out. Huh. And then finally, and here's my favorite, Don McLean. He's an American songwriter legend, okay? I come from a family of songwriters, so I've got a soft spot for those people. Don McLean and Paris Dillon. Are you ready for this? 48 years. 48 years between them. Now, I don't know how long these marriages have lasted. I didn't dig that deep. And I don't really care. I'm curious, but I don't care all that much. I just wish them happiness. And, hopefully there aren't any casualties when the breakup happens. So, look, how much is too much? Let's go back to that question. How much is too much? There are laws against dating youngsters, okay? So we do have some rules. But if you're over 18, would you date like a 90-year-old? Think about that. I wake up at night thinking about this. So if you're much more mature than your partner, here are some of the things that you might encounter. And I hope you encounter and reflect on these before you tie the knot, okay? Do you feel like you're making the decisions all the time? Okay. Which, alpha men might enjoy doing that, but in a marriage partnership, these decisions really need to be sort of a mutual. There ought to be a concerted effort to making decisions that affect both of you. So if you're unilaterally making all the decisions because the person is incapable, Now, do you feel like you don't have a lot of things in common with your partner's friends because of the age gap, right? What if they like roller coasters and you're 70 and you can't because of your arthritis? You got to look at that kind of stuff, and roller coasters can be fun. How about this? Communication skills. Maybe your younger counterpart hasn't developed the communication skills to navigate through disagreements. That's big. That's huge. And you find yourself teaching them, and maybe they're not, measuring up to your lessons, and they're failing a lot, and you had a lot of unresolved conflict. Look, this can get complicated. How about this? You're always taking care of them financially. Now, look, if there's a huge disparity in income, you kind of know you're going to do that going in, but do you have a resentment about it? Because if you do, it just gets bigger, festers, and then it spills everywhere in your relationship. Now, if you're the less mature, let's talk about the less mature, male or female. Here are some things to watch out for, hopefully before the wedding bells. Do you feel like your partner is always telling you what to do? Again, that goes back to feeling incompetent or being perceived as being incompetent. I don't like it. Does your partner talk down to you? Are they a little condescending? Think about it. And believe me, that comes in the most subtle of ways. So watch out for those things and stand up for yourself in a polite way. Don't be too critical, even though they might be, because you don't want to instigate an argument. Those are stressful. Do you feel like your partner sees you as a child instead of a companion? That's big. And that can get kind of creepy because that's kind of illegal to date a child, right? Ooh. Maybe you're being driven out of the relationship. Do you feel like you're missing out on critical years of fun and freedom? And, the youth tend to want that. They tend to be a little more whimsical with their decisions and their life choices. And that is perfectly okay. And you're entitled to be that way. So if you're not that way and you want to be, do you feel tied down in that sense? So basically, I'm going to wrap this up because I don't want to go too long because it takes forever to edit a long video. In summary, I go back to a lesson that I learned recently, and that is there are no rules. So don't get weighted down with social rules, except you got to abide by the law, okay? But outside the law, please, this is your life. You are sovereign. You get to make your own choices. And follow your downloads. And by that I mean pray to a higher power, a power that's bigger and more knowledgeable than yourself. And wait for the downloads because they're usually right and spot on and custom made for you and your life. See if you can balance practical with whimsical. That's a skill set, but practice every day because life gets magical when you do that. And look, know that there are more to life. There's more to life than day spas and hired help and fancy cars, okay? I mean, that's really materialistic. So, when you date, consider the soul. Date on a soul-to-soul basis. Don't sell out. Please, don't sell out. Know yourself so well where you can legitimately and quickly identify what's not working for you and gracefully back out of it. And if you continue dating someone with a huge age disparity, be honest with each other about why you're dating, okay? I'm reminded of the old movie called A Love Story. I might want to watch it. And it always bestills my heart when she was honest with him about why she was dating him. He opened the conversation with, "Are you dating me for my money?" And she goes, "That's a part of it, but I love you. And I hope you'll believe that in time." And it's perfectly okay to say that to somebody. Yes, your wealth is attractive to me. It makes me feel secure in a sense. But I gotta tell you, if you didn't have it, I would still love you. Ask that question. Because being honest is always right. Now, please go about your day and do something loving for yourself, okay? Oh, I also wanted to share too that this is National Small Business Day, National Mom and Pop Day. Pops. Our economy couldn't run without small mom and pop businesses. There's no question about that. They create economic growth and provide almost 70% of all new jobs in the country. That's why every year on March 29th, we acknowledge the more than 27 million small businesses in this country, in the United States of America, by celebrating National Mom and Pop Day. National Mom and Pop Business Owners Day. The holiday was established by Rick and Margie Siegel in honor of their parents and the successful hat shop that they opened in 1939 and grew into a 10,000 square foot, $2 million clothing shop. It's a special day to appreciate the long hours and hard work and dedication it takes to run a small business. So on March 29th, today, head to your favorite small business. Okay, and if you're dating somebody who started with a small business and now it's a big business and they're super wealthy and you're not, celebrate them. Acknowledge their hard work. Revere it.